Good morning, Larry.
Gemara Chasima Tova, Gemara Tov. A
Yeah.
good shore, Rabbi Prague.
I said him say, oh, it's a good kvittel.
Good kvittel, let me tell you.
Good kvittel. See what happened in Manchester.
Yeah.
How was Yontif, Rabbi Prague?
It was wonderful, really, really wonderful. Everything went fine. When did the blow shofar by you in Shul, Larry?
Little after 7:20.
Right.
Like
you. See, by the Sfaradim here, they blew earlier 7.
Right.
By us, it was 7:25.
Rabbi Prague, you know, not to interrupt, but I have to tell you, I saw one thing yesterday, which was based on, I know you know this, but to what nusach do you use for the laning by mincha, and why do you use that nusach?
Of course, we spoke about it. It refers by maftir, when you make maftir, they make the brachot. So if you pay attention, you, Sfaradim said, ala Torah, ala Avodah, ala Yom HaKippurim. You're referring to the brachot, yes?
No, yes, and ultimately the brachot, but it depends what nusach you use, not for the brachot, but for the laning itself, the trup. Because if you use, it's based on supposedly a machlokas between the Machaber and the Ramah, about which, and there's a famous Rabbi Akiva Eger, because if you hold,
right, we spoke about it. If Yom Kippur is a holiday, so
it's Yom.
Yeah, in the morning, but cannot in the afternoon, he has a safek.
Right, but if you hold that if it's
Ala Torah, Ala Avodah, it's a part of Yom Kippur. This is
right, but then the Rabbi Akiva Eger, if you ate in the morning, can you get an aliyah? So if you hold that it's yontif, you can, but if you hold that it's a tinus, you can't. But I saw it. I had such nachas from that one little piece of learning. It was great.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
The Marcheshet lived in Vilna, and he writes, this question has to do with the Machloket Shulchan Aruch and Ramah. Sfaradim finish ala Torah ala Avodah.
Yes, we did.
By Mincha. So obviously it's a Kriyah of Yom Kippur, but Ashkenazim finish Magen David.
We would not be able to have an aliyah.
The opposite. You can have an aliyah even to the guy does his fast. Now I'll tell you a piece that maybe you didn't see, Larry. If Kippur falls on Shabbat, yes.
Oh yeah.
So then anyway,
the
Kohen and the Levi can get an aliyah even if they're not fasting, because every Shabbat you read.
What about Monday or Thursday?
The question is only everyone agrees that in the morning, even if you are not fasting, you get an aliyah. Everyone agrees. Why? Because the Kriyah is because of the holiday. Now I'll tell you something fascinating.
Because you're saying only Mecha is a Kriyah for the holiday or for the fast.
Ashkenazim, in the morning, when you get the aliyah, you have a special tune when you make the brachot.
Right.
Now, did you have it by Mincha or not? In my shul and many shuls, the tune is irregular. So I saw someone saying this idea in the morning because of the holiday, you have a special tune.
That's correct.
This is why the tune is a regular tune.
But also it's fascinating. I used the machzos that the Rav used, and they showed the different nuschos, how he davened and how he held. Like in Brich Shemay, he doesn't say below al bar elokim below al bar elokim samit.
This is an old discussion.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Some people are trying to say that
also
it's added because of.
Also, in your machzah, do you say Gashim El Mula? What is that called? Kachoma. Do you say that or you don't say it?
Yeah, we do say it.
We say it also. We don't. They didn't say it in the Chabad, but it's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece of davening. It's incredible.
Every piece. Did they gave you a break yesterday?
Yeah, they had a little break. So can we do it from Zoom? Because that's a contract coming. I just found that he's coming at 7:30, not 8. Okay.
Today when he blocked you, it was there early. Yeah.
What? Is somebody there?
No, I went down the block.
Okay.
Did you fix the camera a little, Rabbi Prague? Just the camera, please. Thanks, Yishkaya.
Listen, at the beginning we have a fascinating buzz. Moshe Rabbeinu this parasha is always read after Yom Kippur. And they are very, very powerful messages. And you realize, George, if you see the way the print is, it's a page 1100. See, the parasha is written like a shira.
Yeah, sure.
There are two places in Chumash.
As
The
Yashir,
place, if you look at the Chumash, it's written like this.
as Yashir, no?
Why is shira written like this? Avaran Soloveitchik says something fascinating. He says, in poetry, in melody, what's not written is more than the written one. It is the messages between the lines. Yes, if you really read Parashat Ha'azinu, you can be very encouraged or discouraged, because this summarizes many, many very powerful messages to the Jewish people, past, present, and future. So look a second, and the parasha begins.
Give Ronnie a good chair. This chair is
Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, Ya'arov kamatar likhi, tizal katar limrati. There isn't one pasuk except from Shvi'i that is easy to understand. Let's see the English translation just to make believe that we understand one word. No. Every pasuk in messages, if you hear it, you'll have Kippur once a week. May my teaching drop in the English translation. May my teaching drop like the rain. May my utterance flow like the dew. What is Moshe saying? It is, what I teach you should be like the rain. What I teach you should be like poetry is good to Manhattan. This is the Torah by the end of the Torah. So look, there are two opinions here. Look at the Rashi a second. Look at the Rashi, how Rashi learns. יערוב כמטר לקחי, זוהי העדות שידעו, שאני אומר בפניכם, תורה שנתתי לישראל, שהיא חיים לעולם. Torah to the world is the same as rain to the world, yes? כמטר הזה, שהוא חיים לעולם. The world cannot exist without rain, so is my Torah. So יערוב כמטר לקחי, my teaching should be like rain, yeah? And of course, then he says, Tizal Katal. Remember the pasuk, according to Rashi, this is a metaphor. The world cannot exist with Torah, so what is the doing there? Look at the Rashi, Tizal Katal. The Rashi, Sha'akol Smechim Bo. לפי שהמטר, when it's raining, יש בו עצבים לבריות, some people are not so happy. יש עצבים בו כגון אורחי דרכים. If you're traveling the open time, and it's raining very strong, you're not so happy. Or if you have Rashi is giving an example, if you have a winery and the water goes in. So according to Rashi, the Pesukim, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling the Jewish people, this is the last day of his life. Yes, I hope that my teaching should be like rain or dew. So it's a metaphor. The Radbaz, someone was asking the Radbaz. The Radbaz was about 500 years ago, and he's asking him, we read the Torah with Ta'amei HaMikra, yes? How come we cannot put the Ta'amim in the Torah? When the scribe writes it, yeah. This way everyone can read it more or less correct. It's a serious question, because you realize that the Ta'amei HaMikra were given from Sinai. Yes? Yeah. So really write it inside. Says the Radbaz, this is what he says to me. we read the Torah the way we read it. This is the way we accept the Torah.
So is this considered Torah Sheba'al Peh? The Taneh HaMikra is considered Torah Sheba'al Peh?
Or maybe it's part of Torah Shebechtav. It's part of Torah Shebechtav. It teaches you how
It's
to
part
read.
of given to be written in the Torah.
No, right. In this aspect, you're right. It's a Torah Sheba'al Peh. Listen carefully what the Radbaz is saying. The Gemara says in Shabbat that before Hashem gave us the Torah, the Malachim are saying, why are you giving it to the people, the Jewish people? Keep it up there. But the Malachim wanted to have an Aron Kodesh and keep the Torah. The Malachim are saying the Torah is so deep, it's not for people. Hashem says to Moshe, give them an answer. The answer he gives them is, how can the Torah remain by you, the angels? It says in the Torah, Lo tirtzach, you're killing each other. It says, don't ignore. It says, all the halachot of the Torah are given to human beings, not for angels. What did the Malachim? It's a serious question.
Great.
I mean, this is great people thinking. Okay. Says the Razbaz, this is not kindergarten the first day. They do a good question and a good answer. The angels didn't know it. Didn't they know before Moshe answers that the Torah contains halachot, commands to human beings? The answer is the Torah has multiple ways of reading it and understanding it. The Malachim had a totally different Torah. So the Torah is written to us in Lo Tignov, Lo Tirtzach. There are multiple ways of learning the Torah, that you read the Torah totally different. The Malachim looked on it something totally different.
So in other words, Lo Tirtzach to the Malachim means something different.
No, it's not written Lo Tirtzach. You can read it in different ways. We read it Lo Tirtzach.
Formed in different.
Says the Radbaz, this is why the Ta'amei HaMikra is not in the Chumash. The Chumash has many ways of being read.
Oh, wow.
This is
Bereshit,
we
Bara.
got the Torah to be read that
This
way.
way.
David, this is why Ta'amei HaMikra was given to us because we are human.
No, but when you say read, does it mean not just the tune and the
the
tamim,
words,
it's
the
even
words.
the interpretation.
Right,
The word, no,
right.
the words.
Different
No,
words.
different
The-
words.
the-
I want to be sure I got it.
the
It's not
words-
just the tune,
the
not
words-
Ashkenaz or
the
Sephardi.
words and the messages and etc.
So why didn't Hashem, when he created the Torah, didn't create the human thing at the beginning? What was the purpose of putting all these things when the Malachim they don't need it?
Yeah, because the Torah was given in one version of the Torah was given to us. If you look carefully, let's read the Rashi now and see Be'emet. This is the depth of Rashi. Yes? Rashi says, the rain is coming to the world, right? Farmers need it. Many other people need it. Some people don't need it. Everyone is happy.
Yeah.
Let's take an example. We are learning every week Parshat Shavua. Many people are learning. We have cute stuff, this, that. This is due, yes? Rabbi Feinstein's Chumash was the same Chumash in ours, but it was a different Chumash, yes? He looked at the Chumash from a totally different point of view, yes? But this is the metaphor here. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them, I hope that each one of you, and it's Ada Yom Hazeh, it's Ada Yom Hazeh. The Torah, a good example, yes, the story of Abraham Avinu and the Malachim, yes. Every kid that comes from kindergarten, my grandchildren, little kids, they know the story. Abraham, this is on them. You grow up and you realize what is Abraham teaching us. Yeah? After having the surgery without air conditioning, standing outside, why? Because human beings, because human beings, it's a totally different level. Yes? And where did Abraham learn it? He learned it from Noah. Would we learn from Noah Avraham Avinu met Shem, the son of Noach. And he says to Shem, what did you do a full year in the Teva? Did you watch TV or play the game? Yeah? He said, we were busy 24/7. Doing what? Feeding the animals. Avraham Avinu became a zookeeper, what? And Noah. Avraham Avinu, really? I said, I didn't know, says Avraham, that the world stands on chesed. You hear this? I didn't know. This is a different perspective. You look at Parshat Noach, totally different. It's not a floating teva and Hashem. Hashem is saying the world, the way we knew it, is destroyed. What keeps the world going is only chesed. In the teva, the chesed was a chesed with animals. So Avraham Avinu said, I didn't know that the chesed is so powerful. This is what pushed Abraham to
This was his inspiration?
This is This is Torah at a totally different level. You understand?
So that's when Abraham Ija Chesed started, that conversation.
כתוב במדרש, אברהם said, לא ידעתי, בכוח of...
Most probably what we read and we think that we are not the kids, we understand.
No, no,
other,
no,
maybe
no,
it's a
no,
total
no,
different
no.
things also.
No, Joseph, this is exactly the point now. The point is, what you understand is the Torah that is given to you. He understands is his, and his and his. So this is the point. The Torah is multiple levels. You can learn it on a cute level that we feel comfortable. And no, Joseph, it's not a different meaning. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying.
All of them
The same way is to reign and do. Everyone gets it in a different way.
Like Shivim Panim La Torah, exactly.
Shivim Panim, you know, when I teach a higher kids that are so to called honors, they can never hear this. Anything with a gematria or drash, it's not for them. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, but it works.
No, because some kids, sometimes kids look at it, okay, you made up number. If you learn the Bala to read, sometimes.
By the way, I could go to the New York Times. Could you make up any numbers in any of their articles? No.
Sometimes you shiver when you find when he finds out. So this is what Yaakov Kamatar Likhi.
I want to interrupt for a minute. The Hesed concept. I've had opportunity to connect with somebody, a community member who was very sick. He's alone in his apartment with nobody connecting with him, even his kids limited. And somehow I got the opportunity to connect with him. And in one conversation that took about 45 minutes, I came home, I was exhilarated. Maybe better than any class I ever attended. It's magnetic. I have to share with you, not because of boasting, but saying the concept of Hesed is a whole different world. It just.
Well, what did he tell you though? So
He told him.
he told you. What did he tell
He
you?
changed the
I saw
man.
his whole attitude.
Well, you changed it.
He
I was
changed
able
him
to first of all
completely.
connect with him. I had similar experience. I was able to tell him how I dealt with it. I was able to connect him with social services. He had no money. How am I going to do it? I said, listen, you have entitlements. You could get the disability. You already have. You get enhanced. You could put your social worker. We have Vikumalim. We have people. He says, I'm learning by myself. I said, how you learn by yourself? Let's get you somebody to come to your house and come every day and learn with you. Then I contact social workers, get him a shul buddy. Have to take the shul all the time. So all of a sudden, his whole perspective changed in one conversation. I had the opportunity to be the catalyst for that. It was just, I don't know, whatever it's worth. It's not maybe not germane at the point, but it was.
That's why it says Olam Chesed Yibana.
No, but
My wife told me, how was your day today? I said, it was great. I couldn't tell her why, but it was just great. It was a great day.
No, but this is the message right after Yom Kippur every year. The parasha after is the Torah.
I have a similar story.
Rabbi Shway, I heard him saying it once. He says he was a teenager and Rabbi Wasserman was in America. This was in the 30s. Remember, this is the the religious community. This is small. He says he spoke and he picked up the Chumash and he says, my Rebbe, the Chafetz Chaim, said that this book has an answer to every question in the world, globally and privately. You just need the key to open it. You know, we are learning always in a certain way. You know, there are books, Rishonim, and Achronim, the Akedah. I mean, I'm using an example, the Barbanel, it's my bug, yes. I mean, I'm using an example, it's a good example, baby. It's a good example. Before, I think when the Russian Revolution began, or maybe before, I don't remember when, there was a group of people that came up with a good idea. Since Jewish communities are being ransacked, let's take all the Sifrei Torah, hide it in a special place. When the war is over, most communities gave them. They came to Dvinsk. Dvinsk was a city of Meshech Chochmah. He says, no, we're not giving it. He says, why? Because Yaakov Avinu says, אם יבוא עשיו על המחנה האחד ויקראו, והיה המחנה הנשאר לפליטה. We don't leave all the eggs in one basket. Your idea is a great idea, but if they capture your place, it's over. We would have our own bunker. Sure enough, they found a big bunker with 600 Sifrei Torah and destroyed it. But in small cities, this is an example how you look at.
Rahman also has a story that somebody was trying to write a Sefer Torah. He didn't have enough money. And somehow he came across somebody that found a place in Russia that has 300 of these Sefer Torahs.
Wow. Yeah, this is it. Could be. Yeah.
Over 300.
Yeah, could be part of
From
it.
this, so now it makes sense from the rabbi saying.
So this is based. So the interpretation we gave is based on Rashi. Remember, according to Rashi, Moshe is using the Torah as a metaphor to read. The Chizkuni and the Ibn Ezra, you see, this is a classic example in the same. They say that Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, Moshe Rabbeinu is praying. He's not talking about the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu is praying, I hope that the messages I gave you should
Reach
you the same as dew or the same as rain. Again.
Rabbi Prague?
Yes.
2 weeks ago, last week, we talked about when it says the mitzvah of Kesivat Sefer Torah, it says Kitvu Kashira. Why do they change between the Melech takes a Sefer Torah? Does the Melech take a Shira? I mean, what's the difference and what's the halachic difference?
But this is the point. There's no Be'emet, if you look in the Rambam, and this is the Sefer Shagat Aryeh talks about it. לפי הרמב"ם, ועתה כתבו לכם את השירה הזאת, refers to פרשת האזינו.
That's what I'm asking.
Only, says the Rambam, but since אין כותבים את התורה חבילות, you cannot write just the parasha. This is why we have to write the entire Torah. Here it is. If you look at the Rambam, there's no time to write now. When the Rambam talks about the mitzvah of writing Sefer Torah, he says, ועתה כתבו לכם את השירה הזאת refers only to פרשת האזינו.
Where is that in the Rambam, Rabbi Prague?
Do you remember?
Sorry.
In Sefer Ahava, when he talks about Hilchot Sefer Torah, Tefillin B'Zadeh.
מה זה חבילות? What does that mean? What's the halacha?
Files.
Why is it you cannot have a parchment writing the parasha of Ktoret, because the Chabad says, the Gemara says you cannot write.
We have to write the
small portions of the Torah. Yes.
Joseph, okay? So we're open. Okay, leave it the way it is. Okay. Less pressure. Right?
Oh,
Right.
you're not allowed to write a partial Sefer Torah. You're not allowed to write just one parasha.
You're not allowed to write one parasha parchment.
So this parasha of the Ketoret that they give out
Okay, I just want
is
to.
against the
Chabad
Rambam.
says, Chabad says it's against the halacha, but since other people wrote it, you can buy it.
L'chatchila, it should not be done.
Oh, okay, so I see.
It is wrong.
Wow.
Okay, fine.
Perek Shvi'i.
Let's go open the Rambam in Sefer Ahava.
Morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
It's good Shema Bot. But now we're gonna like.
Same song tomorrow. Rabbi Nelson. Yes, the way in the night of Kippur. Say me something tomorrow. Esther.
That's my aunt. It's my aunt. My
Oh, from the Guinea
grandmother.
side.
My grandmother was the oldest. She
Oh,
was
the
the
Guinea.
youngest. Yes.
So that's your aunt's.
It wasn't
I mean, your
My
grandmother's
grandmother's
sister.
sister, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Big age. Big age.
My father was older than her.
Wow.
How old was he?
So
Here, look a second,
her
look at.
nephew was
I
older.
gave you the, I gave you the same edition, so please open Sefer Ahava, page 83. By you, it's Perek Zayin, yes.
Yeah, Eric said.
Sefer Torah.
Ahava.
It says it for Sefer Torah, which is
Go on,
Sefer
Ahava, go on,
Torah. Next
Ahava.
page is- it's, Sefer Torah. Next page is-
Hot Sefer Torah, 87.
no, Sefer Ahava, 87, don't look for more than.
Don't look for more.
Rabbi Sittel find it.
Good,
Yeah,
you're good.
87.
Oh,
87, you haven't seen it?
85 or 87.
Is this, by the way, is that a mitzvah that a woman has to do?
83.
Read
Kiddush Shvi.
the Rambam.
That's what that's it.
מצווה תעשה על כל איש ואיש מישראל לכבוד ספר תורה לעצמו, שנאמר, ועתה, last week's פרשה, כתבו לכם את השירה, כלומר, כתבו לכם תורה, דיוויד, שיש בה שירה. What is the שירה? Which שירה is it? האזינו. לפי שאין כותבים את התורה, פרשיות. So the reason why you have to write the entire Torah is because you're not permitted to write one parasha. Now, the question is, says the Shagat Aryeh, it's clearly from the Rambam, that the reason we need the entire Sefer is because otherwise I cannot have Azinu by itself. Now, the obvious question is, going back, this is the point you started, Larry, is, why is the mitzvah in this parasha? So, be'emet, if you read the parasha, you'll have Kippur till after Sukkot. But this is the most, everything in history is written here, past, present, and future, yes? Good, bad, and ugly. I mean,
So Moshe says that Kitvu Lachem et Shira Hazot, he means the whole Torah, that it's not.
Right, but it's written, the way it's written, halachically, it's one parasha. Nevertheless, the reason why it's written is, let's go back how we started.
Rashi
I
says,
ask you one question. Is the mitzvah Ketivat Sefer Torah, is a woman mechuyevet on Ketivat Sefer?
If you look in the Pitkei Tshuva, in Yored HaChelek Shlishi, the Shagat Aryeh says, depends. If the mitzvah is kedei, you should have something to learn from.
And no way.
Then a woman is patur because they are not obligated to learn Torah. But if it's independent mitzvah, then ladies are chayav.
And is that why they use the word lachem, like by lulav?
Similar, no, lachem means that if you write Bezrat Hashem when you finish, you cannot give it to a shul. Because if you give it to a shul, you lost the mitzvah. It has to be your Sefer Torah in the shul, but it's your Sefer. This is why the Rambam says, "Ve'af al pi she'inichu lo avotav Sefer Torah, mitzvah lichtov mishalo." Why?
So again, it's sort of like lulav. It's
similar.
matana manat lahachzir.
Nachon, lachem.
Lachem. Wow.
Everyone, we got the new Sefer Torah, so we gave the men a note. The Sefer is yours. We are borrowing it for the duration.
Like the lulav.
Now, going back, Jack, but why is it written that Kitvu Lachem et Hashira? Going back how we started today's class, yes? If the Torah is like a shira to everyone, the kids like to listen to music. I love to listen to certain type of music, yes? The problem is that we look at the Torah, it depends on each one, yeah? Think about it, yes? If the Torah is like a melody, like a shira, you refer to it totally different. Yeah?
if it's teaching you the attitude you're supposed to learn Torah, like a
Torah and life.
Rabbi Yaakov spoke about that yesterday.
Yeah, this
Like a
this
song?
one.
Yeah, it's like a song, you can enjoy it, you're gonna live it.
Okay.
Is that why they're very makpid that you have to read with the correct ta'amim? And if you don't,
But this is exactly it. I mean, we live in a day and age that everyone takes the Torah the direction he wants. The reason
We make it fit into our life.
there is Torah that was given from Sinai. This is why you need great people to tell us how to refer the Torah. They have a very good metaphor, Jeff. Say a man who was a champion shooter of arrows, passes a farm and he sees 3 arrows, bullseye. Says to himself, I'm 20 years in the business.
I can't do that.
He knocks at the door, how do you, who trained you? He starts to laugh and says, I put the arrows and I put
Some kids at school do that.
Many people take this book and they have already the bullseye before they open the book.
Not
And
many,
then they
I
tell
think
you what the
most.
Torah says, this is why you need great scholars to tell you what yes and what not.
Happens in politics all the
This
time.
is live.
Where they coming from philosophically and everything else built around that.
This is
Every time you read a great piece of literature, you look at it differently each time. The same thing with a painting, the same thing with a piece of music.
exactly the same.
Yeah, I saw.
This is why in Torah you need the real scholars to tell you this is what the Torah meant and not what you think. Yes.
On a very base level, I was in a museum once, I saw a Brancusi sculpture, like modern art, so to speak, and the sign says, keep looking at it until you see it,
Keep looking at it.
till you see it.
You see what? That's the
You see it
point.
when you see it, it has different interpretation of it, you know. I use that as introduction to the book where they gave the photographs of all the elderly people. I said, you look at these photographs that Susan Manesh made. I said, you keep looking at the photo, you see a lot of things about that person. What was in the background? What facial expression there? Where was she sitting? Where was he sitting? In photos, even photos that technically they capture the moment. No, there's so much more into it. It's an art in a way. So of course, as you keep looking
No,
at
but
it, you see it more and more.
the point is when you read the real biographies of big people, you ask yourself, who manufactured them?
Yeah. Oh yes.
The answer is this book, but they know how to read the
Does anybody say Mishah on this? The rain will do. And Ta'anit Mishayot said that rain is good for trees, but very bad for flowers.
Do is good for everything.
Over there, it says, no, it's only good for flowers, not good for trees because it doesn't penetrate deeply. So that's every time.
Every day in the summer you have to, the trees get, but they cannot survive and do all you do.
You need the
This is what the Gemara said.
You can't survive. So
The do is giving
Mishah
them,
saying some are good.
the do is giving you every day.
You know, something in the summer when on the garden, it's just like a mist.
Yeah,
all
film
over. It's
mist.
so nice. It's so sweet. It's
So I'm trying to
wonderful.
tie that to the, we're tying to this thing.
It's the words of the Moshe.
This is how we started today.
I'm sorry.
Sort of like what we said yesterday, Al Batei Sharon, Shaloyu Bateim Kivrehem, the same idea.
Mamash, it's exactly the same.
Each one is different.
Yeah, I'll give you a very simple example, David. We said yesterday, when the fellow is taking the goat to the Azazel, right? You realize he's walking out of Beit HaMikdash with the goat, and he's going into the desert. He has to go to a certain point. The Mishnah says that special people, Yakirei Yerushalayim, Yakirei Yerushalayim used to walk in. But the-
Escort.
Did they have
Escorted,
food? Were there
escorted.
people waiting along the way with food too, fam?
No. They used to have like
Booths.
boots, but the people used to walk with him from
Entourage.
station to station. The Mishnah labels these people, David, Yakirei Yerushalayim, precious or noble people. See, imagine what went into Bet HaMikdash. The Kohen Gadol is giving blessings, and thousands of people are there. The spirituality, but few people say the man has to walk alone. Let's walk with him. This is noble people. This is the way you learn Mishnah. Understand? This is the Torah is matar. I mean,
It says, the Mishnah says, whoever
Refresh
went to
my
this,
memory, Rabbi. How
couldn't
did
go
he
to
get
that.
that guy? That wasn't a good job. That was not a good job to walk that goat. How did he get it? I forgot. You taught us.
whoever appointed him, but normally he used to die that year anyway.
His life was, that's the end of his year.
Yeah, but they picked a guy that they knew is marked already. Not he died because he took. No one dies because he was in Manchester yesterday,
He's a
walking
walk
out
out.
of the shul at a certain
Ish
time.
iti.
Ish iti, ish mezuman.
He's a mock guy before he's.
No, but marked means each one of us.
Yeah, but Rabbi, they're giving him a kid,
This
they're
is
giving
what
him a, they're giving him a cow.
He knew.
This is what Yom
No, he
Kippur.
did not.
Oh yes or no, you can say whatever
You
you
know
want.
if they
You
picked
heard
him,
from one
you know if they
rabbi and
picked
you heard
him.
from another rabbi. You have a record that every year he died, so you don't need, depends which rabbi you went, which Seudah Shlishi,
Who's a designated hitter, the DH?
Nobody wanted that job.
he said before.
I said nobody wants that job.
Now look at the next pasuk. Look at Gimel.
The guy who scored.
No coincidence.
No, but it's the important message of yesterday and Rosh Hashanah and real life is nothing is by accident. But we like to think we have to do what we have to do. Life is life.
You know, I saw that said the Kohen Gadol, they come home and celebrate. He survived. He survived.
It was a very.
That's a risky job.
Look at pasuk.
They used to buy it. They used to.
Half of them didn't walk out on.
We're not talking about Beit Sheni. We're not talking about Beit Sheni, about Beit Rishon.
Oh, by it, should be sure there was not a lot of corruption to get the Kohen Gadol.
Every Kohen Gadol was 90 years, and all the Babas that you ever met came to his toes. Yes,
This is by.
there is a Beit
Beit
HaMikdash.
Rishon.
Judaism is very serious. Beit Sheni used to die within a year because this was not real. This is like today's politician, today's shul, today's everything is money, power.
That's why it says, don't listen to the prayers of the travelers, because the power that they had, they were so.
Mhm.
But the beauty is, what did the Kohen Gadol pray for the few seconds he was inside? What did he say?
Annul the prayers of the traveler. Wasn't that it?
Right? He prayed for the good of the people, not that he should be successful,
Yeah.
and that should be. Now, let me show you the opposite. I mean, just the Kohen Gadol cannot marry a widow, right? A regular Kohen can marry a widow.
Yes.
You never ask yourself why. I would never ask the question.
Yeah.
But
He might want her to in the bed in Kodesh Kodeshim to her to for the
Yes,
guy,
sir.
the husband to go. That he wants it.
yeah, so can you imagine that the Rishonim have the guts to say what you just said?
I'm sorry, Rabbi. You taught us that, Rabbi. I didn't make it up.
Listen to the point we're making here. On one hand, the entire world depends on the Kohen Gadol. On the other hand, a man can be so low that on the holiest day he would think about a woman
man's
and
wife.
other man. This is the real Torah. You hear on
a
the
balance.
holy days
What
in
about?
Kodesh HaKodashim. You can turn the world, the peaceful world, successful if you do it right, and if not, you can be so dirty. But in Kodesh HaKodashim, you want a woman, you pray to that.
Doesn't make sense because the
Just
guy,
to-
he's tough.
just
He's
to-
tough guy. The
And
world
the
relies
answer
on him.
is, this is the
Human
point.
beings.
Top guys is in politics, in real life, top guys, when you see a very
Get corrupt.
attractive woman, up. Rabbi Zalman
It's a
Auerbach
base.
was old and sick and very fragile. And he says to his son, stay in the room because I see the nurses are coming in.
I think he taught us that.
But the answer is
Wasn't
only,
a student came and said, I don't
only-
have that desire. I mastered.
only great people can think like this because they know themselves, because they look in the mirror every day. This is what Kippur is about. This is why the Al-Chet is and everything. Great people know that we are not secure on anything we do. Look at Pasuk Gimel, Pasuk Gimel.
Only a Gmail, that's all this time.
Not appropriate to us, but we're asking on the cloud. One of the things that
Right,
don't.
right.
We all collectively.
Kishem Hashem Ekra, Havu Godel Elokeinu. Irani, read Pasuk Gimel. If you have time, at any parasha, from any parasha, this is the parasha.
When I call out the name of Hashem, ascribe greatness to our God.
Now, what does it mean? So the Gemara says, how do we know? Here it is, going back to what we said in the beginning. How do we know that we have to say Birkat Torah before you learn Torah in the morning? Here, the Gemara says, this is the proof
Learn from
according
here?
to many commentators from here. Kishem Hashem Ekra, when I mention the name of Hashem, you, the people, have to make a blessing. But where is Moshe saying the name of Hashem? Where is Moshe Rabbeinu saying the name of Hashem? The answer is everything is in the Torah has to do with Hashem. This is one interpretation. Here, David, the Torah is Shem Hashem.
Shem Hashem, come on, when I call us, I mean, when you learn Torah,
Whatever you
you go there. Say the
learn,
Beracha before.
whatever you learn Torah, it could be excitement, it could be gematriot, it could be real Torah. Look now in the Rashi says, Havu Godel Elokeinu, וברכו שמו. מכאן אמרו שעונים ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו אחר ברכה שבמקדש. In Beit HaMikdash, instead of saying Amen Lari, every time they had the name of Hashem, said Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto.
Where we say it last night and yesterday in the Shema.
Right.
Yeah.
Now look at the next pasuk, which is life. Hatzur Tamim B'Polo Yechol Dracha Mishpat. El Emunah ve'ein Avel Tzadik v'yashar. Read the English translation.
The rock, perfect is his work, for all his paths are justice. A God of faith, without iniquity, righteousness, and fair is he.
Not fair.
What?
Not without
unfairness.
Iniquity means not fair.
Not fair, so it says with.
Now
In other words, not equity.
you understand? Now this pasuk is being said in every funeral. Yes. It's very easy to say when a person dies at 88 or 85, but we have people that have the inner strong faith to say it. Even they lose a child, they lose a daughter, they lose. This is Judaism.
Their parents lost a 2-year-old child. Many of them.
Imagine how many parents are going today to the cemetery. 73 war, Yom Kippur War. I'll tell you a story you never heard. I mean, I have chills now because when I read it the first time, I couldn't. This goes back, I guess, to the early 30s. There was a fellow that used to collect money for real institutions, and he came to Chicago. And he met a very wealthy guy. And the guy told him, I have a wonderful son. He says to him, a new yeshiva opens in Hebron. This is in the 30s. Send your son here. He says, hey, Israeli, he's from Chicago. And then the man says, me and my wife are going to visit Palestine. We'll take our son to see him. This was in the 20s. I'm saying 30s was in the 20s. 29. No, 29. I said 20. Anyway, they visited Israel. They saw the yeshiva. I mean, if you read about it, and the kids stayed there. And of course, it was one of those who massacred. Listen good. The rabbi who gave the idea was a real great rabbi. Says he never came to Chicago anymore because he couldn't face the father.
Yeah. He gave them that suggestion.
I gave you the idea.
And then
he says he avoided him. But finally, a few years later, they met in New York.
He met the father in New York. The rabbi and the rabbi
I bumped into him and he couldn't avoid it. So he comes to him to apologize. He said to me, apologize to me. I owe my biggest thank you to you. What? My son was destined to die that day. Thank God he did it while he was sharing with heaven.
Wow, there's a merit. And internalize it in that beautiful way.
That's not
Rabbi, say that. Well, thank God he did it when, Rabbi? I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Parents
He convinced the parents to send the son to study in Hebron in the 20s. And he was a young, to be young, he died very young. Yeah, his head was chopped off. Under Gemara. And he says to him, I owe you the bigger thing. Obviously, he was destined to die young.
Yeah.
The 11 few years in Israel, in Hebron. This is this is the question. Yes, Jack, this is the biggest question. No, he's asking. You have to.
The story is one thing, but how does he have the ability to really say
that? Which means we don't have the big picture, and when you have the big picture, sometimes you understand. But see, this is why we can never ever tell anyone a pasuk like that. We're coming to our tragedy. You can't say it, because people are not up to it. Sometimes.
Wasn't that the mistake of Eob's friends?
Yeah, I mean, it depends which interpretation you learn. Maybe today they have so many books to show you. It's not a mistake. They gave him different approaches to.
But you're not supposed to, when the person's down, you're not supposed to be giving him Musan.
Right. No. Such good friends, David. You know this? How did the three friends who lived in 3 different places in the world know that? For social media. The Gemara says that each one of them looked at the tree in the backyard and they saw that the leaves are up.
Something
It means the friendship was such that they felt
supernatural.
From the tree.
Supernatural.
friends like this. Anyway,
My daughter asked me last night, she said, Esther Solomon, Shalom. Guess what? Erev Yom Kippur. Is that a good thing? A special dance? I don't know, but it's pretty. There's no coincidences, right?
Sammy's wife's,
Yeah, Sammy's mother. Sammy's mother. That's the way Erev Kippur was. When Kippur was already in. Now, what's the situation? I don't know, but it's unique.
the Rabbi of Greece.
my wife asked me the same question yesterday, Rabbi. Is that like person passing around Shabbat? What is
It's much more. It's much more. Yom Kippur came in. She got
It's going clean. It's going clean.
She died on Kippur before.
That's it. It looked like the email I saw that she passed away after Kippur started.
Right as Kippur comes in, the Rabbi of Greece died exactly the same.
So there's something to it.
Look a second on page 11.
What have the children or men at that point? They still fast?
No, on Shabbat. Of course they have to fast.
They fast.
Or
of
then
course.
anyway cannot do any Avera. Or then cannot. Or then has to eat without the bracha.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
but
not allowed to
still
wash.
go to shul, everything else.
Everything is
Everything's, yeah, I was
Yeah,
curious.
but as the
Same
rabbi
thing,
said, the Shabbat is over Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Look a second on 11:02. Pasuk Yud Aleph. Kenesher, Moshe Rabbeinu is describing how Hashem was leading the Jewish people. Kenesher Yair Kino, Pasuk Yud Aleph 11:02. Al Gozalav Yirachev, Yifroz Knafav Yitacheu, Yisrael Arabato. Look at the English translation, please.
He was like an eagle arousing its nest, hovering over its young, spreading its wings and taking them, carrying them on its pinions.
As you realize, the Pasuk is saying the way Hashem is leading the Jewish people is like an eagle. Yes? If you look at the Rashi on the bottom right. Oh, I'm going to use a minute this photo from there. If you can open this Pasuk, Larry, look at this photo there a minute. Kenesher Yair Kino, says Rashi, Nahagam berachamim ובחמלה כנשר הזה, רחמני הוא על בניו, ואינו נכנס לכינו פתאום, עד שהוא מקשקש ומטרף על בניו. תשמעי, Hashem is, remember it's a metaphor to an eagle. Larry mentioned the Pasuk, you remember? ועשה אתכם על כנפי נשרים, yes? ספר שמות. What is the metaphor there? It says this photo. Listen carefully what this photo says.
What's so great about this that he wakes them up before coming? That's such a greatness. Like,
So which means that every move that he's doing, it's only a metaphor. No, the question is, David, why is the Pasuk saying Yair Kino? Yair
he
Kino.
wakes up his nest.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to translate the word Yair is from the Orer to wake up. Look at Rashi.
Right.
She says wake up.
I know, but
It's a heads up,
this is
maybe.
like the point is, David.
Yeah.
I mean, we would never say it, but as we started today, what's happening in Israel happens suddenly because of Hamas or because of Iraq, because of
ourselves.
Yair Kino. The Torah said it. The Torah said it a million times before. That we have to be ready to take the consequences if this is the Yair Kino also. The Yair Kino is before danger. The Yair Kino is. It's hard to believe our Yom Kippur.
You had it yesterday in the
It's not ready. That's what. The answer is you are blind because it's going to happen because of whatever reason. You know that the 7 girls or whatever 11 were captured that were in charge of listening to what's going on in Gaza for weeks and weeks. They are preparing to do something. People say, "Yo, what are you talking about?" No, they said it. This is the Yair Kino, David. The Yair Kino is in many ways.
yesterday in the davening. Urina.
But this is the Uri. We say every Shabbat. It's Oreri. The question is, Listen what the Sephona says. The Sephona says the eagle flies above all the other birds, which means you can choose. No, this is what you remember, Rashi.
What you told us.
I know, but this is what the Sephona is new. It says the eagle can choose any way you want. You know, by
Any fan.
you have planes that you never think about how come there was never media collision in the
different
middle of
levels
the
out there,
Atlantic,
different
because
altitudes.
each one altitude. The nation takes any altitude he wants. Hashem says, I'm running you, the Jewish people, they told you different altitude they want.
Rabbi,
This
isn't
is
it something?
Mavir,
That's what he meant, that's what the Torah said.
Oh no, אני מראה לך, in the
On a
Torah,
different plane,
look at
on a
three
different,
altitude. It's a very
different
good.
level.
Rabbi, didn't it mean
David, this is a
someplace?
good example. Here is Yair Kino. Then, as it's cool, Shanim Rabot, guys, if you have time, read the parasha. You'll have messages here. The list of this is after Kippur, before Sukkot. Everyone
Rabbi,
with the
didn't it mean
Shabbat.
someplace that
Sunday morning we're learning.
birds will carry the young on their feet, so under the wings, but the eagles are, they
On
carry it
top
on
of the
top of the
shoulders.
wings.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what
the
it
wings.
means.
That's the only
This is
bird
what
that-
Jack remembered.
That's
The wings protected the.
This is what Jack remembered.
David,
David, this Gemarot can go. Oh no, leave it because Sukkot you might know.
I wrote this in case you need it.
You gonna leave it? Give us
Oh, no, Sheikh Shiva, oh,
Yeah,
2011 is
yeah,
finished.
it's St. Michael's stepson, his brother-in-law.
Oh,
She was living in their house.
Oh, probably go say Sunday
So, yeah,
after
so it's that.
prayer.
And I'm not pressuring, just giving you one of the options.
So they're only sitting Friday and Monday morning?
It's his
Moshe
mother.
Shabbat, Moshe
Sunday.
Shabbat.
It's his mother-in-law.
Oh,
Yeah,
Moshe Shabbat.
yeah.
Saturday night
Nancy,
too then?
Nancy's mother.
Saturday night too then?
Yeah.
I didn't know
And Monday through 1 p.m., I think they said.
Right. I think Sunday's a good day.
Salam.